Hey everyone, how are you doing today? Well, I'm super excited to bring you this video. In the last 11 years, I have thousands of students to select the right career and get into top colleges. Some of my students are studying in MIT, Harvard, Stanford, UCLA, Yale, Columbia, and some have graduated and are working with Fortune 500 companies. And in fact, some of my students are massively successful entrepreneurs. Yes. And I'm telling you all this because I have seen students from all walks of life. And when they come to me and they ask me how to get into this university or that university, and I thought to myself, I've been answering this question and in fact helping students to get admission for the last 11 years. Why not I create videos on some popular universities so students can get all this information super easily. And today, I bring you a very special video on how to get into your dream university or how to get into your top US university. And before I begin, let me tell you that I have worked very hard in the last decade to decode the admission game. I have read hours and hours of university data, I have met with hundreds of admission officers from all Ivy League colleges to colleges in West Coast such as Stanford, Caltech, UCLA and all others. Also, I have worked with my students to get them into these universities, and all the information you will find in this video is backed by my knowledge and the first-hand experience. Now we have set the tone for this video, let's just dive in for a million-dollar question: how to get admission to a top US university or your dream college. For college admission, there are 4 factors, and I will explain you these factors in complete detail. These 4 factors are academic scores, test scores, profile, and college applications. Let's start with the first factor, which is academic score. So what do you think is a good score to get into a dream university? Well, I, in fact, asked this question to most of the admission officers, and I got a very similar answer from most of them. And the admission officer at UC Berkeley told me that anything 75% and above is a good score. That roughly translates to about top 25% of your class. Also, I want to tell you something super important here. Your academic scores are just like gatekeepers. That means that you need a certain academic score to get into the gate, and that's it. A lot of people think it's about marks, but for admission to top universities, it's actually not. It's just a simple entry point. For masters, this could be about 70% or less. Well, to ease this for you, see if you're in top 25 of the graduating class. And if you are, you're all set, irrespective you have 95 or 65%. Along with this, I want to talk about something very important here. What subjects should I take to get into my dream university? Well, it doesn't matter what subjects you take. All that matters is how you do in those subjects. So take subjects that interest you, but make sure you don't take easy subjects. So taking physical education instead of computers or economics will not reflect your application in a good space until you are really passionate about physical education. If you are taking physical education just to score better in other exams, that simply tells admission officers that you have not made the best use of your resources and you have not taken a heavier course load as compared to other students. Same applies for students looking for master's admission. So don't think too much about finding the perfect subjects to get in, or that my friend last year took these subjects and got into Harvard or MIT, so I must do the same. Well, you are two very different, completely different individuals, so never do that. But remember one thing. If you're applying for an engineering program, then you must have relevant subjects like physics, chemistry, or mathematics. Even for business program, you must have basic mathematics. Well, another thing that a lot of students and parents ask me is, IB better than CBSE or ICSE or HEC or A-levels? Or if you are in college, government university is better than private? Well, it doesn't really matter what system you have at school or at your college, because there are so many different systems, and universities take students from all across these diverse systems. So just relax. So the school or college system doesn't matter as much as how you perform in that system. Have you taken the best use of your opportunities provided at your school or college? Well, I say universities want you to be in top 10% or 25% of your class is simply a way that tells the admission officer that you will be able to handle the course load at the university level. Pretty simple, right? And if you are not doing too well academically, it indicates that you might struggle in college. And in all fairness, that's not good for you, right? So if you are in top 25%, awesome. But if you're not, that is absolutely okay. There are more than 4,000 universities in the US, and many schools take lower than that percentage. And of course, if you plan to apply to Ivy League colleges, being in top 10% of the class will be advantageous for admission. Now let's talk about the factor number 2, test scores. So for undergrad, you need SAT, and for masters, it's GRE or GMAT. I'm sure you must be thinking the same question that I get the most. What is a good SAT score or a GRE score to get into my dream university? Before I tell you that, again remember, just like academic scores, test scores are also the gatekeepers. For SAT, a range of about 1200 to 1500 is a good score. Again, a plus minus of 50 points will not make a much difference to your application. So don't beat yourself for not scoring that 1500 or above. In fact, I've seen students with 1520 or 1540 scores and they will still want to repeat the test to get closer to 1600. Okay, one more important fact. Universities do not take all 1600 students because they want to create a diverse class and all 1600s will not make a diverse class. So if you have 1450 plus minus 20, you're perfectly fine. You must work on the other factors that I will discuss in just a bit. For GRE, a good score range is about 310 to 330 and GMAT is about 600 to 740, depending upon the university you are aiming for. So aim for these scores if you are still in the prep mode, but if you have already taken the tests and you have scored something close, you're just fine. Now, the last point in this test score is, I guess, very important. What if you don't have these kind of scores? Yeah, what if you just can't score in these admission tests? Let me tell you that for some students, test scores are not their strength, and that is absolutely okay. Instead of losing all hope and thinking that you are good for nothing and you have got no chance at your dream college, try working on other parameters such as your profile and applications. And that brings me to your profile section. So, what is a profile? Well, a college admission profile is everything you do outside of your classroom. Basically, anything you do outside your academic grades and test scores. Your profile is you as a person with interests, hobbies, your uniqueness, and more. Now, the simplest way to build your profile is through your extracurricular or ECs in short. You must participate in ECs to build your unique personality. Now, a super important thing I want to share with you that I share with every student of mine. Don't do extracurriculars to get into college. Do ECs that you love. Yes, that's the word. Something that you love. I know this might come as a shocker because when I say this, most students and in fact parents, they don't get it. They simply ask me, what ECs should my child do to get into Stanford or Caltech? Well, the secret of getting into any top school is, or any of your dream school, is to be yourself. And most students miss this part. They try to model someone who has got admission into the dream college, but that doesn't work. So the idea is your growth. Let's say you are a shy person and get nervous in group setting. Taking an EC that can help you get over this will be much more valuable than doing something else that brings no value or growth to your life. Or doing something that you are passionate about and what difference you want to make in the world. Well, I know for some students these are big words, but hey, that's what top universities are looking for. That's what the top schools they look for. What are you passionate about? What matters to you? What difference you want to make in the world? These are important questions to answer, and the easiest way to find answers is self-awareness. What you truly want from life, what do you want to do in 5 years, 10 years, what things you're passionate about, what are your weaknesses, and so on. These are some important questions to answer. Admission officers, they know when a student is just trying to get into college. They want to see someone who is passionate. Let me give an example to clarify further. If you love to be on social media, think about what you can do with this. Well, do you love creating communities or maybe creating content that can help people? Or maybe you want to build the next gen social media platform. Hey, it's possible. So it's design, it's technology or anything. I hope you're getting it now. Also, one thing that I emphasize categorically and I've been telling my students for past decade is think about these two questions. Whatever you have done, have you taken it to the next level? And the second one, is it truly what you care about? So what do I mean by the next level? Let me give you an example again. I once worked with a student who did some excellent work to help feed thousands of children through an NGO internship. It was very good, but then I asked him this question, how can you take this to the next level? Everything changed with that question. He took his passion and went on to create his own community service organization or NGO that works towards eliminating hunger. He took this initiative and created a big movement and fed millions of children every year. Yes, millions. He then took his venture international, collaborating with corporates and government organizations to advance his mission of eliminating hunger from our planet. His work had won him many international awards and recognition. That is what I mean by doing what you truly care about and taking it to the next level. Now, of course, this needs time and planning. You can't do this in few days. It takes proper planning, but you know what? It can be done easily. You don't need super genius abilities to pull this off. All you need is well-defined direction and dedication. So go on and take those ECs that you really love. Could be debate, music, dance, fencing, cooking, anything that you're passionate about. It's just you need to show depth in your profile. Also, when you fill your application, you're asked to list out your extracurriculars, both in UG and PG admissions. Now, don't try to fill all the slots if you don't have something meaningful, because admission officers are smart to make that out. And I see students making this mistake. They want to just fill everything out there. It's okay to leave some blank spaces if you don't have something meaningful to talk about. So in UG applications on Common App, you get to fill about 10 activities. Don't try to fill everything. And a lot of students and parents, they do that. They will make sure to fill that 10, even if they have no meaning to them. And absolutely don't do things that others tell you to, because they know someone who got into your dream university. You are unique, and that's what you need to discover and talk about in your application. And this brings me to the fourth and final, which is college application. Your application consists of many things, but three most important things for universities are essays for personal statements, letter of recommendation, and supplementary material. Your essay or SOP is super important, and this is where AdCom can hear your voice, AdCom admission officers. All the other factors are factual. I did this, I did that, I scored this, I got that. But essays are where you can show your story. Yes, it's about your story that differentiates you from the rest of the applicant pool. So what I tell all students is your story is your superpower. Yes, it's your superpower. You must present your true self in your essay. One thing I want to tell you, don't think about this as an essay, because that adds a lot of pressure. Think about it as a conversation you're having with a close friend. Your essay must be conversational and candid. It should represent you as you, who you are, and not a perfect applicant. So be vulnerable while writing your essays, if you have to. And one more thing, please don't start your essay with a quote. Please don't. It's too cliched. And what you're telling AdCom is you don't have your originality to keep them hooked, and I'm sure that's not what you want. Most universities generally require applicants to write one main essay known as personal statement or Common App essay. This is required for almost every program and level, be it undergrad or postgrad. Along with it, there are supplement essays depending upon the course of study. I would advise you to check the exact prompts of the colleges that you're applying to. So remember to bring out your story in your essay. And if you are one of those students who think you don't have a story, hey, are you? Well, let me tell you something. In my decade-long work with students, I have never seen a single student not having a story. Never. You might not know it yet, how to bring it out, but we all have our super awesome, unique story that have shaped us as an individual. So just feel relaxed, and I'm sure you have a story within you. After essay comes the recommendation letters. Well, it is really important to have great LORs. And most students, they mess up this thing by thinking it's not important. In my meeting with Howard University admission officer, we discussed this point, and the admission officer said it is the reason a lot of students, they get into Howard. So don't ignore this. But hey, you might ask, why is it so important? Well, it's because this is someone else's voice talking about you, talking about your application. Now, please don't think you need your LORs from the president of your country or a high profile or high ranked person. Well, I get this too often. And I know because I get this a lot. Can we get this from this person? Well, it's not about rank or position. LOR is all about you. So choose someone who knows you very well, who knows you as a person beyond academic or beyond sports, who can talk about you as a person, your challenges, your failures, your wins, and your specialities. In general, you need 3 LORs, 2 from teachers and 1 from counselor. And you can get additional LORs as well, maybe from your internship manager, community service, or anything that can add value to you. For MS or MBA applicants, LORs are required from both professionals and professors, maybe in your internship or in your job. One strategy I suggest is to give time to select your recommenders, and you must create a plan to diversify your LORs by adding different elements in your profile in different LORs. So when you approach your recommender, drop him a sheet of things you want him or her to talk about. So let's just say if your physics teacher was also in charge of your astronomy club and you have something to talk about, well, just ask your teacher to write about it in your LOR. It's actually very simple once you do it in a planned way. The last thing in the application part is supplement material. Well, this is an open ocean for you to talk about your portfolio, research papers, music, dance, painting, or anything else that you want to tell the admission officer. One more thing, use an extra essay to talk about something that is important to you and you could not have talked about in your other sections. Remember not to use this place to write another essay. It is not an essay place. It is to talk about something that is worth telling the AdCom. So these were the top 4 factors for college admissions, and I want to tell you one more thing at the end. In most universities, the first 2 factors are the academic grades and test scores. They contribute to only 25% of your admission. Yes. But your profile and application, like your essays and your LORs, they take up to 75% of your application. So don't just work on 25%, rather work on your profile and applications, because these two can make or break your admission process. Yes. Thanks for watching. I hope you have liked this video, and I truly want you to like this video and share with your friends to encourage me to keep making such videos and help your friends to get into college admission. Also, very soon, I'm going to bring you very special university-specific videos where I will decode a university and how to get into that. It's going to be super awesome, so keep watching. Once again, thank you for your time, and remember to subscribe to my channel and press that bell icon so you get notified of my latest videos. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Take care.